I might lose my farm because of the government. I got in bed with the government. I was promoting getting in bed with the government because I thought it was a good idea.
Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by once again. You guys are the absolutely best. Thank you for subscribing and engaging on my channel. Trust y'all are doing good. So, in today's video, all credit goes to the creators of this video. So, I came across a guy on my For You page, right? It's always on my For You page. So, he's a farmer and apparently is in this finding out season. Let's get into this video because there is more to see and there is more to say. Stay tuned.
So, NRCS, conservation planning. So they had a program out there called the EQIP program. And what the EQIP program is it's cost sharing on stuff like fencing, different seedings, water lines, waters, wells, and stuff like that to better conserve farmland for agricultural use. So I thought it was a great program. We got a contract with them for $240,000. So we signed a contract with them for $240,000, and we have bought different types of material. We've gotten paid out on some of it, but I now have $80,000 worth of material and signed contracts for labor that are going to install the water lines in the upcoming few weeks and months. And with that being said, they called me today and said, hey, I know we have this signed contract. We're reneging on it. We're not going to pay out on it. What do you mean you're not going to pay out on it? So I've got all this stuff bought, and whenever I install it, you're not going to pay out. We had this contract. I made business decisions based on this contract. So now I have $80,000 out of my pocket that I didn't have to spend. So the $80,000 that we have is supposed to go to our farm loan in the fall. If we don't have that money, that's our hay money, that's our farm money, our farm payment money. If we don't have that money, we will lose this farm. And the only way that I can think to get around it is we sell some cows. And if I sell cows now to make the payment, to make that payment, I'm not going to be able to make the payment in the fall because the cows are calculated in my payment in the fall. So because I got in bed with the government, I spent money based on a contract that we signed. They're reneging on it. I'm just screwed. And unless they lift this pause on payment, I'm going to lose this farm. So they have told me that the best thing that they can tell me is get in touch with the congressmen and congresswomen and see if I can get something done about this. So I've reached out to Ann Wagner's office. That's the congresswoman of Missouri. I'm hoping that something comes out of that, but I don't have very high hopes of it. Hopefully this is a temporary ban on payment of that, but I don't understand how you can sign a contract and then just renege on that contract. I do not understand that at all. And if something doesn't change, we are going to lose this farm, and I am extremely stressed about it. But also, with that being said, I've been promoting NRCS. Do not look into government programs because everybody told me I've been waiting for payment for a long time. You're going to get screwed. And I was like, no, it's a contract. They can't do that. And sure as shit, here we are.
Guys, so I came across that video and I read a lot of comments under the video. Many people were telling him, oh, you effed around, now you're finding out this and that. So many comments. So at that point, I just saw it as a normal FAFO video, right? I wasn't even angry. But the point where I really got pissed is this next video.
I know you guys don't want to do me any favors, but I'm asking that you actively listen to the things that I'm getting ready to tell you. And that's something I can tell you I've not always been good at, is actively listening. But in my messages, I have been actively listening and actively having conversations with people based on politics. So please listen to what I'm saying before you react, and please understand where I'm coming from whenever I tell you this. So you keep saying that we told you this is coming, we were screaming at the top of our lungs, and now you got to fuck around and find out. What you don't understand is the way that TikTok works and any social media works. The FYP is made up, it's an algorithm that keeps showing you stuff that you interact with. So just because you're posting something doesn't mean that I see what you're posting, because it's not the stuff that I'm interacting with. So I hope that explains why I'm not seeing, and why a lot of people aren't seeing the stuff that you guys are posting. There's a lot of people that are willing to listen to you, but whenever you get in the comments and you say fuck around and find out, or I hope you lose your farm, or just anything hateful, it takes that whole group of people and you shut them off, and they no longer want to listen to what you're saying. Does that make sense? Everyone acts like everybody's either far left or far right, when the majority of America is in the middle. I've explained this to a couple people that message me. It's like having two abusive parents. You've got the Democrat mom and the Republican dad, and both of them just hate each other. They absolutely hate each other, and we're just the children in the middle. We're all just trying to get along, and sometimes you side with mom, sometimes you side with dad. But at the end of the day, it's us together, and they both fucking hate us. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you, is that's the us versus them. But what you guys are saying is, well, you didn't vote the way I did. You didn't want to listen back in November. Well, nobody was hearing you because you're not on our FYP. And this is an opportunity that you guys are fumbling, because there's people that are willing to listen to you. I have 40,000 followers that we're farm talk. We have nothing to do with politics. We don't do politics, but there's people that are willing to listen. I'm speaking out about what's happening to me, how the negative effects of Trump's signing the executive orders has affected me. But you guys are shutting it out because you're overwhelming the comments with the fuck around and find outs and the hoping of failure for other Americans. And then at that point, all of my followers, they want nothing to do with anything that you're saying, because you're just hateful people. Also, everybody says in the comments, Project 2025, didn't you read that? That's his platform. From my understanding, that wasn't his platform. That's not what he's running on. And I never thought I would be on the political side of TikTok, because it's definitely not something I'm interested in. I'm interested in the farm side of TikTok. And it really sucks that I can't get engaged with the farm side of TikTok. But politics, everybody gets worked up about it. But Project 2025, I did not read Project 2025 because from my understanding, that's not what he was running on. That's what I was told, and that's the information that I had. I don't have TV out here. I don't have news channels. I don't watch the news, because every time you turn on the news, this news channel's saying, oh, this news channel's lying about this. And the other news channel says, oh, this news channel's lying about this. I don't have time to filter through the bullshit. I'm not going to figure out who's lying, who's not. You get on the internet, and then everybody says, well, the left's lying, the right's lying. It's just a bunch of bullshit. And everybody's arguing with each other, and it's never the people against the politicians. It's the politicians against the politicians, and it's the people against the people. That's what I don't understand. We need to unite and be together, but then you're saying, oh, well, if you didn't vote for my party, we're not uniting with you. Well, that's the fucking problem. That's the problem. That we have a whole lot of things that we agree on that we could actually solve problems with if we'd all just settle down and actually have conversations and talk about stuff, rather than just hollering, oh, fuck around and find out. Okay, fine, I'm not even going to deal with you then, because you're just immature at that point. If you actually want to have a solid conversation and talk about the issues and figure out resolutions to the issues and not just keep bringing up the issues, then I'm all for it. I'm not wasting my time with the immature just yelling, and it's just absolutely insane. But like I said, I appreciate the engagement.
Guys, I need you to back me up here, because the sentence he made that made me even pissed was when he said he didn't have a television. Okay? You don't have a television, but you have a mobile phone that you can use to make a TikTok video. You have the internet, and you come online to say you don't have a television. Quite all right. It didn't exactly specify who you voted for, but you guys know. You know, at least some people had the balls to come out and say, oh, okay, we regret our vote. But he even said he's not an active listener. I mean, who does that? And the height of it all was even blaming the algorithm for his inefficiency. He said all those that on his FY. In fact, I don't even want to go into it, because the more I go into it, the more angry I get. All those who were not on his FYP, he didn't see it. He's on the farm side of TikTok. He doesn't do politics. But you have a farm, right? You have a farmland, and you know that you have a business that you don't want to run to the ground. And you know that, okay, an administration is coming, and this administration has something called the Project 2025. And I'm not even saying you should read the whole Project 2025. Out of all the comments I was reading, somebody actually specified the pages that had to do with agriculture and had to do with farmers. The worst you can do is to take a couple of these and read those page specific ones that has to do with your sector. So now, you know, when people don't want to take the blame for whatever it is that they have done, then they find excuses. They start giving excuses to actually make up inefficiency. So that's what I think this guy is trying to do. Because he didn't exactly come to say, because according to him, He didn't pick a side. He didn't go left. He didn't go right. He stayed in the middle. And he's angry that people are coming to say you effed around and you are finding out, because according to him, he doesn't do politics. I mean, who does that? Okay. I mean, initially when I watched this video, I wanted to take pity on him. I'm like, oh, you effed around, you were finding out, okay. But when I watched these other videos and I actually heard what he was spewing out of his mouth, it was a no-no for me. Okay, it was a no-no for me. Other content creators have a lot to actually say about this guy too. So I'm just going to let the video roll. I'm just going to let it play. Let me know what you think in the comment section about our farmer. Let me know what you think. Is he effing around and finding out? Or do you think it's just one of those people that just don't take their business seriously? Because if he's actually interested in the growth of his business, I think he will do everything in his power to make it work. Okay? Which includes reading Project 2025, because you know it will affect your business. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'll just let the rest of the video play. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in my next video. Please don't forget to stay safe. Ciao.
I need your help to save my farm and many other farms.
Donald Trump specifically said he was going to go after low-hanging fruit. You just didn't think you were low-hanging fruit, and it turns out you are. And now you have entered into a contract with the government where you agreed to do a bunch of work and they were going to reimburse you for it to improve your farmland for future generations. The Inflation Reduction Act gave you that opportunity, and you took it. I would have too. And now the man who's known for going back on contracts and refusing to pay for work that's already been done is doing that to you, the man you voted for. So you were fine when he was talking about removing the civil rights of women and trans people, trampling on the freedoms of immigrants. You were fine with that because it wasn't going to affect you. And you didn't believe that they were going to implement Project 2025. In fact, maybe you didn't read it, because pages 294 through 310 talked specifically about how they were going to fuck you. Either you didn't believe it, you didn't take the time to read it, or you just thought everybody that was complaining about Trump and his plans and his policies were just, being crybabies? Or maybe you thought those people deserved what was going to happen to them. I don't know. But now it's happening to you. And so I would think that right now is a good time for you to admit that you were wrong and maybe apologize. Because there are a lot of people that are going to be hurt by the things that you voted for and cheered on. And now you're one of them. And I'm sorry. I'm actually sorry that's happening to you. I don't wish it on you. But I do hope that you have the courage to say I was wrong and this guy's a piece of shit. Imagine the type of coalition we could build if people had the courage to admit they were wrong and join hands with the people who were scared originally. We might be able to do something about this.
Food stamps were never about feeding the hungry. It was 100% to subsidize farmers. Yeah, I will never understand Republican farmers who are like, I'm voting to end these handouts. First of all, your farm takes a gajillion subsidies, as this young man, Skylar, is finding out he's losing his $80,000 in subsidies from the government. But also, I used to work for WIC, and WIC really is an agricultural subsidy. It started that way, that's for sure. You ever wonder why moms on WIC get far more milk than any family can possibly consume? I know when we were on it, I was making yogurt and cheese out of it because it's just vast quantities of milk. Yeah, it's because it's really a subsidy for dairy farmers. You ever wonder why the main things you get on WIC are formula, cow's milk, cheese, cereals, wheat, corn, soybean, dairy farmers?
I might lose my farm because of the government.
Oh no. Who's to blame?
So they had a program out there called the EQUIP program to better conserve farmland for agricultural use. We got a contract with them for $240,000, and we have bought different types of material. We've gotten paid out on some of it, but I now have $80,000 worth of material on me today and said, hey, I know we have this signed contract. We're not going to pay out on it.
I'm still waiting for you to say who's to blame.
And unless they lift this pause on payment, I'm going to lose this farm. The reason that they're not able to hold up the contract is our EQUIP program is funded by the Inflation Reduction Act. Because of the executive orders.
Whose executive order did this?
There's a pause or a freeze on the funding through the Inflation Reduction Act, and they're not able to pay out on the stuff that we completed or anything going forward. Multiple farms are going to sink if we don't get traction on this and get those funds unfrozen.
It is weird how you never say who's to blame. But, you know, considering the EQIP program was part of the Inflation Reduction Act, and that was brought to us by Biden, and now it's been halted by someone who said throughout the campaign that they wanted to terminate the IRA, I think it's important you say who fucking did it. Because there is one specific administration who's trying to screw you out of that money. And newsflash, it's not the last one. And while, of course, I don't know exactly who you voted for, the fact that you don't actually say who's to blame for this says a lot. And I don't want anyone to lose their livelihood. That's why we've tried to warn you over and over and over again that this is exactly what would happen. Oh, and it might surprise you to know that it's not that they don't have the money to pay you. They just don't want you to have it.